snack has played a huge part in my training camp. The protein, the ZMA, everything, the pre-workout, it's played such a major part in my training camp, keeping me healthy, keeping me recovered, keeping me feeling good, strong, and ready for my next workout.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? I'm Marcos Villegas, being joined with Ebanie Bridges, live from Australia. Everyone's jealous of you because you're in Australia, because you get to live normal life. But joining me via Zoom to have a little chit chat with us here on Fight Hub. Ebanie, hey. Hello.
Hey. Hello.
Good to see you.
We made
again.
it. We're here.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, ton of stuff I want to talk to you about, but first and foremost, how is it being over there in Australia compared to everywhere else in the world?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we've got it pretty good here. Definitely. They're pretty strict here. We get a few cases and they go all crazy, telling us to wear masks and lockdown and stuff like that. But I mean, I can't complain really. I think, like, when you think about America, I mean, I was in America, in November for my fight camp. That fight didn't happen, but I was over there and I just seen the difference of what it's like in America with all this COVID and how everyone is compared to here. I mean, to be honest, it looks like everyone in America is living pretty normal, but you've just got such high COVID cases. And do you know what I mean? We're here, like, we're living kind of normal, but we're also there is still a lot of restrictions, like, but not like, say, the UK. So obviously the UK is now taking a turn for the worst over there. So, I mean, when you look at comparing like that, then I think we've got it pretty good. Like, there's no fear. I don't have any fear of COVID or worry about COVID. I think the most we're getting at the moment is like 10 cases a day. We had like 30 cases and they closed down some cities because of it. But that's not 30,000, that's 30 in like a huge country.
Yeah, so, you guys are for sure lucky because, I think they're saying on the news like yesterday is like I saw 4,000. I don't know if that was deaths or cases.
Probably deaths. You mean in America?
Deaths. Yeah, probably deaths. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 3,000 cases would be actually pretty good for a country of over 300 million. But you were here in the U.S. during this craziness in November. Kind of curious,
October, November,
culture differences. Like, what'd you notice, like, being over here?
Like towards COVID or just
in general.
What did I notice?
Because you were in the South, right?
I was in Philadelphia.
Yeah, okay, you were in Philly. West Philadelphia?
Yeah, South Philly.
South Philly. Oh, okay, because you would have ended up with Fresh Press over there in West Philadelphia.
Yeah, South Philly. It is very different. I mean, it is heaps different. But to be honest, I was there. All I did was go to the gym and go home and rest. So, I mean, I can't really say much in like knowing about the culture, really, like, to really give an opinion, So I just noticed, obviously, the difference of how you guys were acting with COVID, and I was really shocked. I'm like, no wonder you guys have so much COVID. No one gives a fuck. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
Like, here you won't stand any people. Like, in lines, there's like distance, proper like social distancing. In America, there was none. Everyone just wore a mask, but and like in the gym training with a mask and stuff, but yet you're sweating everywhere and not wiping down equipment or anything. So it's like, what's the point? But yeah, whatever, you guys. I just I mean, I suppose when I was in Philly, there was like another shooting as well. So there was a curfew, which was a bit of a shock because obviously guns are illegal in Australia and we don't really get shootings very often. So, I mean, I went to the shops and I was like, oh, how come everything's closed? And I went back to my manager and he's like, oh, no, there's a curfew because there was another cop shot someone. I'm like, oh, okay. Yep. All right.
Welcome to America.
Yay. And I'm like, this is why I just stay inside and go to the gym and that's it. Yeah.
I'm just going to stay inside, go to the gym and not interact with anybody. Just watch Netflix and there.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I'm going to stay out of this.
How long were you over here for?
I was over for I think 2.5 weeks and then I got injured. And so then I had to come home. So
you got injured. Unfortunately, you couldn't have your fight, which I believe was a title fight, right?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
WBA bantamweight world title. Yeah,
Ugh,
and it was in the UK, and I'd obviously
bummer.
do my camp in Philly, and then I was going to fly to the UK. Like a week before I was meant to fly, that's when it happened, and yeah, I'm obviously shattered, broke my heart. Like, and I had to make the decision to see how bad it was, like if I stay there or if I come home, and it was pretty bad. You know, it was going to take a few months to recover. So, you know, I thought just might as well just come home because I'm not going to be able to train or do anything anyways. So here I am.
What exactly
On the mend.
Yeah. Well, are you 100%?
I wouldn't say 100%. I would say like 90%. Like I was going really good, and then I started sparring, and then it really kind of aggravated it. So then I had to take some time off from the sparring, take some time off after that. And so it's kind of just like I still have to ease in quite a bit. But I think, you know, I should hopefully in another couple of weeks really be able to not have an issue with it. I want to look at some cortisone shots and stuff as well, like anything to help me along.
Is it like a rotator cuff thing or like what
No,
exactly?
I tore my AC. It's a ligament in AC joint. So I don't know if you probably can't see it right now because I'm holding a phone. But there's a bone. Oh yeah, I've got this cupping.
Oh, okay. I was gonna like, dang, it's still bruised up. Okay,
yeah, I've got like full cupping. So yeah, but no, there's there's like a bone here that's like popping up, and it's the ligament that holds that bone, like the collarbone down.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I tore that, so the bone's separated.
How'd you do that?
I was sprinting, and
you're sprinting and you fell.
Yeah.
You ate
and
shit.
I ate shit like a fucking scorpion. Like I fucking smashed my
you scorpion.
elbow.
Oh no. That's man.
Yeah. It was really exciting. It was great. It was a full blonde moment, like full dits. But
you're running like you were like Rocky on the beach, like
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I was so funny, like lucky I wasn't running up the freaking Rocky stairs. Imagine that. I'm like, I was trying to be Rocky, running up the Rocky stairs at Philly, and I stacked it, and like here I am. you would have been missing
fuck you.
Fuck you, Rocky.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And I tell you what, the airbags didn't save me at all. So they are a waste of money.
The airbags.
They do not
hilarious.
work. People that are asking, they didn't help me at all. I'm very
no,
devastated.
No cushion there. No cushion.
No, none. No.
Hey,
they might help me float, but they don't help me. They don't help me land.
Now, hey, since you bring it up, you know, I would imagine people are curious. You know, are they a hindrance at all to you in boxing, or do they, you know, in an actual fight? Like,
no,
do they?
No,
not at all.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at like zero. I mean, I don't even get punched. I can't remember a time I've been punched. Girls don't necessarily punch straight in the chest, to be honest. I mean, girls struggle to go to body shots. How many girls do you go to the body? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's headhunters really. And honestly, when your hands are up, it's covered. If my hands are down, they're covered. And I mean, I get punched in the face. So getting punched in the chest is not really an issue.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing that is a hindrance is I actually am a weight division heavier than I should be.
Really?
For aesthetics. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's like, it's like, what is it? I don't know. They're about over 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds of silicone.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, and that's like a whole weight. Like I should be super big. I should be super fly, really. So, I mean, like, that's kind of a bit of a, what do you call it? Disadvantage. I'm lucky I'm strong for my weight. Because that's like, it's not like it's weight that's going to actually help me. I mean, they kind of help.
No, because I would imagine, like, you know, some girls might, you know, get angry. That's a sensitive area, and then they go right for it, you know, like.
Yeah, they might, I suppose, but good luck, 'cause they do that and they get knocked out anyway, so it doesn't matter. go for my chest and I'll counter you with the right hand.
There you go. You're more than
fun.
well prepared for
if you
that.
Want to like,
you've planned this out, there.
Man, you want to target my boobs? Have fun with the fun bags. I swear to God, it doesn't hurt at all. I mean, it doesn't.
Bags.
Yeah, enjoy.
Oh man! Oh wait, when did you get them? How long ago was this? Because I saw 14. Pictures. Okay, because I saw pictures of you like when you did your fitness stuff, and it didn't look like you had them in, right?
No, I did. Yeah,
you did.
I've had them for 14 years. Yeah.
For 14 years.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, so I've always had them. I think where it could be an issue is if girls that go and get them like halfway through their career, because you're not used to having like this, you know, this protrusion on your chest, and all of a sudden you have it, so you have to adjust you have to adjust everything. But when I started boxing, like I had to work with it, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's the same, I suppose, if you're a big person, for example, like when I'm a little bit heavier, like now, like my back's really wide and I'm really thick. And I find that even is like, you feel like you can't get as tight when I drop down, obviously my fight weight, like, so it would be the similar thing, I would say, because you're not used to it.
You doing the bodybuilding, it's just, you have a very interesting story. Like, and I don't know, you've talking to a lot of people about it. It's out there, you did karate and Muay Thai, and then you're also a teacher, and you did bodybuilding. Now you're doing this, but going back to the bodybuilding, how was that like, and why did you decide to stop doing that? Because you don't hear about people going from bodybuilding and then going into boxing, because the big concern there is the muscle flexibility.
It took me like the transition, when I first wanted to start boxing, I was just injured for like a year and a half, and I just couldn't even get proper training in. Like, I mean, I wasn't learning anything because every time I went to the gym, I get an injury, and then I work around that, and then I get another injury. And then because my body is so not flexible and so not used to moving and being agile, and I hadn't ran. I mean, I wouldn't even run across the road when I was bodybuilding, because, you might lose muscle if you run. So, I mean, I didn't run for like 8 years, and all of a sudden I have to be fit, use my lungs. Like, what the fuck is this shit? But I was determined. And unfortunately, when I said I wanted to, fortunately, when I said I wanted to do boxing, I said I wanted to fight. I didn't say, I just want to go to the gym and like train. I said, I want to fight. And because I said that, I couldn't quit and give up just because I kept getting injured or just because whatever. I mean, there was points where I was like, fuck, like, are you trying to tell me something, God? Like, do you not want me to get in that ring? Like, it was really disheartening, but I just couldn't give up on it. And luckily I had some good runs, and now here I am again injured and whatever. But I mean, it's part of it. But I won't give up yet, because I still got goals. But yeah, the reason I got out of it is like, obviously I was bodybuilding all through my 20s, and you have zero life, like zero. And at the time, like, it's fine because
like boxing, you're right.
No, boxing, you have a life. Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah. You can have a bit of a life. You can enjoy a little bit of food. You can enjoy a little bit of like socializing, because you're not in camp. Like, you're not 24/7 in camp. Like, you know what I mean? With bodybuilding, it's 365, 24/7. Off season, you're force feeding yourself. You're force feeding all this food. You can't just go eat pizzas. Pizzas aren't going to build muscle. You have to eat the right macros, and you have to eat a lot of it to build. And you got to make sure at the gym, every gym session is there to build muscle, tear. You got to push yourself every single session. It's not like, I'll just like, learn a little bit in the off season. Like for boxing, for example, like when you're not fighting, you're still in the gym, you're still pushing yourself, but you're learning or you're building. You're not having to get fight fit the whole time. You got to camp for that. Where with bodybuilding, it's like when you're off season, you're still killing yourself every single, because you need to grow, and you don't do that when you're dieting for the camp. Like, that's a different, it's just your cutting part, and then you're doing your 3 hours of cardio a day and starving yourself.
3 hours? 3 hours of cardio? Really?
Like walking and stuff. Yeah. At some points I was doing 3 hours of cardio a day, closer to my comps and stuff. But yeah, like an hour at least, an hour and a half. Like, I'd get up and I'd do cardio before breakfast, and I'd do weights for an hour and a half, and then do another hour after my weight sessions. And then I was eating, I had like every 3 hours on the hour. Even at work, I'd be like, sorry, I got to eat, because it's, you're programming your body. Like, it's so strict. And like, I did really well. I won so many competitions. I've regional, state, and national. I did international competitions. So I mean, I was good, and I was good because of how I dedicated I was, and how obsessed I was, and how I did everything to the book. You can do it half-assed, just like you could half-ass boxing, but you're not going to be fucking good at it, are you? So I mean, that was just how it was for me. I wouldn't go on, like, do you want to go on holidays? I get anxiety going on holidays. I'm like, oh fuck, how am I going to weigh my food and cook my food? Like, it was just too much, and it got to a point where I didn't even really enjoy the training. I loved legs, because I used to be able to lift heaps, and it was like show off days. But otherwise, I didn't really enjoy weights. I never really enjoyed it. I just did it because I was good at it, and I kept winning, and I enjoyed winning, and I enjoyed being on stage and everything like that. But the lead up is like 4 months of crying every second day, and like just not having a life. So yeah. Sounds like fun, right? So you wonder why I changed, is because I succeeded in everything that I wanted to, and it got to a point where it wasn't fulfilling enough for me anymore. And I'm like, I need to do something else. But look, it makes, like I've said it in numerous interviews, or always said, it makes boxing really easy, because I actually fucking enjoy boxing. I love everything about boxing. The diet for boxing is is brilliant. Like, I mean, I get to eat carbs and sugars, and it's great. Like, you know what I mean? Because of the training I'm doing. So, yeah, I mean, for me, dieting or anything like it's never an issue because of what I put myself through for like 8 years, 9 years. Like when I have fighters come to me and say they can't diet, I'm like, man, please. It's like 2 weeks. You got to strict up your diet for like some people, you know, or, you know, you got to do a little bit for like 6 weeks. And even it's not even that bad. So I'm just like, yeah.
How is like the weight cutting process compared to boxing when you compare it to what you did for your bodybuilding competitions? Because I would imagine it would be different, right?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, for boxing, you need energy because you need to perform. Bodybuilding, you don't really need to perform. You just need to look fucking good. You know, so it's all about your aesthetics. So you can't, you know, can't eat certain foods. I wouldn't even like for 4 months, like even try someone's plate. Like I wouldn't even go, give me a chip or can I try some of your lick some sauce? Nothing. Literally strict as fuck, boring food with like no flavor on it because it's all about how you look. And to get your skin really thin to look like that, so it's like looks like it's like fucking tissue paper and very thin, you know, because I did figure. But you got like different levels, obviously. You got bikini and fitness, which they don't get as shredded. But yeah, to get what I was doing, like, yeah, you have to be like super strict. And like if you cheat, it shows up on your body. You know what I mean? It's not like you can just go and work it out and sweat off the kilos because it doesn't matter about how much you weigh. What matters is how you look. And when you eat certain foods and high salt or anything like, you know, whatever, you can see it straight away or you get bloated and that's not good because, you know, like it's an aesthetic sport. So, I mean, and you don't eat as much carbs. You just eat enough carbs just to keep your muscle full. Just so you obviously don't burn muscle because it's very important that you keep your muscle and you keep your muscle fullness and you do slow cardio because you just want to chip away at the fat, and fat burning happens at 60% heart rate. So it's slow cardio. When you start going higher heart rate, you start using carbs and sugars to fuel, but you don't have that in a bodybuilding diet. So then you start using muscle, you know what I mean? Whereas in boxing, it's like you're working at like, you know, 80% plus all the time. You're such high intensity. You got to fuel your body with sugars. You got to fuel your body with like carbs, you know, and you have to do all that kind of stuff because that's the kind of energy systems you're working. So yeah, I mean, what would you choose? Would you rather like sugars and carbs over like fats and protein with no flavor and boiled chicken and broccoli, no sauce? You know what I mean?
I choose pizza every day, all day.
Yeah. So I mean,
and twice on Sunday.
yeah, right. I wish. But yeah, yeah, look, it's different. And I mean, I'm still strict with my boxing diet, but it's just much more. There's a lot more variety, and it's definitely easier. And you know, you don't have to diet, or depending, but you don't have to diet as long. It depends how much weight you have to lose, you know. But you know,
what's a harder industry to break into? Was it bodybuilding or is it boxing? Like, I'm curious to see like how the cultures are towards women in both those sports.
Well, when I did bodybuilding, it wasn't very popular for women either, because it was so long ago. We're talking years ago when I first started bodybuilding, talking like 15 years ago. You know, so it wasn't like it wasn't that easy. Now it's like every man and their dog's been doing it now, especially fitness and bikini, because fitness and bikini is a lot more feminine. So women are more attracted to it now. Where before, when I was doing it, it was like, oh, it's for men. You look like men. Female bodybuilders look like men and they're masculine and they take steroids and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I had a really bad stigma about it. But now it's obviously a lot easier. And yeah, and back then, I mean, like getting sponsorships was hard. And if you got a sponsorship, it was a real sponsorship. Like when I was sponsored, like I was getting paid and I was getting like proper supplements and stuff like that. Now it's like, yeah, you're sponsored, but hey, you get a 10% discount and you just got to put your ass all over the Instagram. Do you know what I mean? And like every man and their dog is sponsored. So, I mean, it's a little bit different in that sense. But I mean, then you look at the levels, like, you know, Mr. Olympia and Miss Olympia and stuff, and that would be just as hard because with bodybuilding, I mean, kind of like boxing, but with bodybuilding, it's either got it or you don't. No matter how hard you try, if you don't have the genetics and you don't have the bone structure, you don't have that symmetrical bone structure, you don't have the genetics, you might, no matter how hard you try, you might never get to a top elite level just because your body shape is it just can't be done. Like there's a shape that you need to be, and to get it at an elite level, you might not have that. And that's unfortunate. With boxing, possibly, if you're able to, you can train and drill and become skillful and be able to get to the top. Or you might not be able. You might get to the top with no skill. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'd say boxing is probably easier. in that sense. It's just, they're so different. It's so hard to fucking, but bodybuilding, you make no money. The sacrifices that you do and what you put into it, I just feel like there's definitely no money in it.
Well, no, certainly both sports are tough. They're a hard way to make a living.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Mean, especially if you're a woman too.
Yeah. Look, like boxers and fighters, we put our life on the line. You don't do that in bodybuilding. It's not your life. I mean, don't get me wrong, bodybuilders die, but it's it's not like a boxing where you're going in to get hurt or hurt the other person. So
you did that obviously in your early 20s, right?
Yeah, pretty much my whole 20s, up until I think 27 or 28. Yeah.
And then from there, do you just decide like, I'm over this, I just want to live a normal life?
Yeah. Kind of.
I
met my boyfriend, and he was like normal. and like I remember going to his house and being like, he's eating cereal for breakfast. I'm like, fucking cereal? Where's your protein? Like, what do you mean just carbs and milk? Like, where's your protein and your fats? Like, wow. And I'll be like packing my food and like still like containers and stuff everywhere, like, little esky everywhere I went, like, because that's just how I lived, like, and then I just started to see normal, like, I mean, I was, sober or didn't drink. Was that working? Yeah. So, for like, nearly 10 years, nothing, didn't socialize, nothing, just eat, sleep, train, repeat. That's it. You know what I mean? And, so I suppose seeing, wow, like, these are people are normal, like they go out and have fun and, they're not crying every day. So I was like, this is nice. But yeah, and then I can't really just do nothing. I'm too competitive and I need to have goals in life. So I thought, fuck, what do I like doing? Like, what do I love? Like I was a big fan of boxing. I've always been a fan of boxing. Like it's the only real sport that I liked. I love NFL as well. But it's, I grew up in martial arts. Like I said, I did martial arts from a young age. So I always was in it, I was always in fights and stuff. So it was like, man, why don't I just do boxing now that women can fight in Australia? Like, because we won't go through the legalities, but there was a moment when women weren't allowed to fight here and it was just all possible. So it was like, okay, let's do it. I was a ring card girl for 10 years. I was at the fights all the time. It just was a natural progression, I think. It's like, what else can I do? What else do I want to do? I was bashing people.
Did you discuss this with your boyfriend at the time or with your parents? Like, hey, I'm thinking about boxing.
Nah.
No,
I do what I want.
You're like, nah, I do what I want. I do what I want. Shut up. I do what I want.
What am I going to discuss with them? Hey, do you think it's okay if I do this? Like, no,
well, just to get feedback or anything, right?
No, because I don't care about people's feedback. I care about what I want to do.
Yeah. That's awesome. I like that attitude. I like that approach.
If you care about people's feedbacks and what they think, you're never fucking going to go nowhere. Like you're just going to sit worrying about what everyone else's opinions are and living their opinions, not yours. I mean, of course you can get opinions and feedback, but it shouldn't matter too much, really.
You make this decision that you want to try boxing out. You go to the gym. How's that first day at the gym like for you? And coming from the bodybuilding world and going into this?
It was like, obviously I was really strong. But I had a lot, like because I'd done fighting, I did martial arts. It's not the same, but I did kickboxing and I did Muay Thai, and I did, karate. Like I said, I've got my black belt in karate. So I did tournaments. I fought, fought in the street, got in fights. Like it wasn't something like all of a sudden this pretty blonde girl goes from bodybuilding to fighting. It wasn't like that. It was like I already knew how to fight. I already had that fight in me. Now it's just like, okay, the reality of actually how fit you have to fucking be. Like I was so like taken back, like how much it actually, like, because I wanted to fight, not just obviously train, obviously the training is still hard, but you don't realize how hard it is in like an actual fight prep. Like that's a different level of just going to the gym and doing boxercise or like doing a class with like, group of beginners, you know what I mean? So that was the biggest shock to me, especially because I hadn't used my lungs and I was a smoker. I smoked for like 15 years as well.
No way. So, that is definitely not good. And you didn't run?
No, and I didn't run. Well, when bodybuilding, you didn't need to run. I just had cigarettes if I wanted to eat. So, but it doesn't matter because it was all about how you looked on the outside, not the inside, true. Right? And it doesn't matter how you feel. As long as you can smile on stage and flex, you'll be right. But so that was all a big shock. And I actually used to have nightmares of smoking and going to my gym and training with my trainer and like not dying, but like I thought, fuck, this is so hard, and I'm not like, I'd quit at the time. It was so hard, and I'm like, man, imagine if I smoked, like, and some people do, and especially in olden days or whatever, you know, like people smoked and they fought and I don't know, maybe because they're just used to it, but yeah, so it was a good way to keep off the smokes 100%. But yeah, it was just that was the biggest shock, you know, and just like I said, a lot of injuries. Body's like, what the fuck are you doing to me? I've lost a lot of muscle. Like, I used to compete like, you know, 8% body fat at pretty much what I fight at. You know, I used to compete at like 52 kilos at like 8% body fat. And if you know what that looked like on a female, you can look up some of my photos, but that was shredded. Like I definitely don't look like that now at 53. So I think I've lost a good more than 5 kilos of muscle, 6 kilos of muscle. So like my legs used to be huge. Everything used to be really big. So, but I feel so much better for it, you know. There was points when I was transitioning where I was actually training weights every day as well as boxing. So I go in and train weights and I box, and my trainer was like, you can't do both. Like, are you a bodybuilder or a boxer? Which one do you want to be? You know, because you can't, it's slowing you down one, and it's just, you come into training, your legs aren't working, and nothing's working because you're so sore from DOMs because you're squatting 130 kilos. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? So I'm like, yeah, okay. So then I just decided, yeah, you're right. You know, I'm not doing that shit anymore. And I just had to let go of the aesthetics, because obviously bodybuilding is such an aesthetic sport, to get your head around out of that when you've been in it for so long, to realize that, hey, it's okay if when you touch your bicep or your leg, it's not like a fucking rock, because it doesn't matter. Because, you know, I'd be like, oh, you know, you don't train for a couple of days and you just start feeling soft and floppy, and it would play with my head. So I'd go and do, you know, a weight session. So it took a while to make that transition mentally and physically. But once I did, it was all in, and that was it. And then there was no turning back. And yeah, obviously had my debut fight, broke the girl's nose in the second round, stopped the fight. And I was like, fuck yeah, give me another one ASAP.
From the point that you went to the boxing gym to learn how to box to your pro fight, how long was that, like, total time?
Well, I mean, seriously, I had about a year there where it was like very intermittent, like I said, from injuries. So I wouldn't even really count that. And that was me finding a gym as well. So that wasn't even really I would say about a year.
Oh, wow. Just a year.
Yeah.
So really just a year, and you went to pro. You had amateur fights.
No, not
right?
Pro.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you had amateur fights.
Yeah, I had 30 amateur fights.
Okay. So a year, then you go amateur, and then you had 30
I had a
amateur
year.
fights.
I went as amateur. Like my first 10 amateur fights, I stopped like 7 of them early. I won Golden Gloves 2 years. I was only amateur for 2 years, and both years I won Australian Golden Gloves. I was state champion. I got on the team straight away. I only lost 4 fights as an amateur, and I just pumped them all out. So yeah, and I was never really interested in amateur boxing. I just wanted to hurt people. I want to get that, like, smash the shit out of people.
Like, hurt people. I just want to smash.
No,
people.
like, I'm seriously, like, I wanted to knock people out, because I love boxing. I never liked amateur boxing. I never wanted to watch amateur boxing. I was a boxing fan. I grew up with Costa Zoo and Chavez and Tyson and all that kind of stuff, and that's what I wanted to do. Like, and that wasn't amateur boxing. So my goal from the start was always to turn pro. It was never to sit there with this googly bobby headgear and the big gloves. Like, I just knew that being, you know, knowing that I need to build experience, and I wasn't just going to go straight into the pros. I had to get experience. I had to feel comfortable, you know, and I got to a point with my age, obviously, I was like, fuck this, I'm not fucking around anymore. Let's just do this. So here I am. And then 2 years, and then my first, and then I turned pro, and then I snapped my ankle in my pro fight. And then I was out for 8 months. Then I had a couple more fights, like, in 3 months, and then I was out with COVID. So it's been a pretty shitty run for me, but I think I've done all right.
I think you've done all right. You know, the feistiness, where does that come from? Because you're very, very feisty.
Fuck, I don't know. Like, probably just growing up. Yeah, I don't know. Growing up with 2 brothers and just my teens, you know, like, had a rough teens. Experienced a lot, went through a lot of traumatic things that, you know, I suppose can turn you salty, but at the same time, I'm very positive, you know what I mean? I'm very positive and very, like, everything happens for a reason, that kind of thing. It's just more, I'm just aggressive. I don't know, maybe because I started combat sports when I was 5. So I've just grown up with aggression and with fighting, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, who knows? Like, I, you know, thought I was my little tough bitch, fucking karate, like y'all bashes all, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just but I might be fussy, but it's just, I think I just don't like, in general, with my parents, for example, I got brought up that don't let anyone tell you who you are, or always be real for yourself and be an individual, and it's better to be who you are than follow the crowd, you know. So I've always been like that. Like, if anyone had a boyfriend that tried to like mold me, as you know, young girls do, and I changed a bit, and ever since then I was just like, with like abusive boyfriend and stuff, I was like, fuck this, I'm never letting no fucking one ever tell me who I am and what to do ever again. So that's kind of why I just don't give a fuck. But I support a lot of people, and I try and push that to people, because I think it's really important that you should do you, and you should be able to do what you want to do. You know, it doesn't matter what you look like, or whatever you think the barriers are. You know, like it's almost like I didn't purposely do it, but subconsciously I did it from a young age. Just did everything against what was normal. You know, like early, like in 2000, early, like, I mean, 2000, 2001, I was a mechanic, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking 20 years ago. Yeah, I did my mechanic trade when I was, you know, this is like almost, how old am I? Oh, 18 years ago, you know what I mean? So, and there was no women in mechanics, you know, and well, they weren't very feminine women, and there still wasn't very many of them, you know what I mean? So I did that. And then, you know, obviously the bodybuilding and, you know, everything is not like, you look at me and you go, oh, I wouldn't expect you to be a mechanic. I wouldn't expect you to be a bodybuilder. I wouldn't expect you to be boxing. I wouldn't expect you to be a maths teacher. Like, that's, you know what I mean? So it's just a natural thing. And I don't actually do it on purpose. It just seems that I mean, growing up around brothers as well, you know, like, I just wanted to do all the boy stuff. And I thought, why should I fucking not? That's what I want to do. Where I think a lot of back then, you know, we're talking like, you know, you're probably around my age or whatever. Like, back then, you know, like, it was more looked upon for females to do male things. It just was. It's only been recently, let's say, where it's kind of all, you know, a bit more normal.
Wow. You mentioned odd jobs, mechanic, bar. Obviously, if you guys don't know, she's a math teacher now, teaches at high school. What other, did you have really strange jobs to make ends meet during those times?
Strange jobs. One thing that I don't really ever talk about was a job that I had all through my university, which is also all through my 20s, which is was working in a gaming room. So like with gamblers, and it's pretty much so like poker machines and stuff like that, and sports betting. And I was like a host, and my job pretty much was to keep them in there, and you know what I mean.
Keep them spending that money.
And
I'm sure you kept them spending that money.
Yeah, and look after them and stuff like that. And I did that, and you know, I still work for these guys sometimes, where I train up the girls to teach them how to do these kind of things. And I go around to other establishments and sit down and play next to big gamblers, and bring them back to our establishments and stuff like that. And it was all above board, if you know what I mean. Like, it was like just me being me, because there's a certain way to go about things. And if you're intelligent, then you definitely don't use sex to sell, because if they don't get it, they don't come back. And if they do, then they probably don't come back. You know what I mean? So you need to be really smart when you're trying to do this kind of things, I think. And just, you know, be me and use my intelligence and stuff, and just the fun person I am, and just look after people. And I used to make thousands of dollars a week, like, in that kind of thing. So that was definitely something keeping in my ends meet while I was in university, studying, doing my degrees and my master's degree. And it's still good. Like, it's fun. Like, I used to love gambling. I sit there and play the poker machines with them and gamble and give them bets and stuff like that. So, you know, don't do it now, but
no, it's
not with my money.
It's all good if you gamble. It's just as long as you're, you know, responsible.
As long as it's not, right.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, I didn't gamble with my money anyways. It was
they
wanted me to play
use your money,
because I was lucky.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I used to rub the machines for luck. I don't know if it worked, but it seemed to work.
You brought up a thing that I've talked to a few female fighters about, and I find it like interesting, because the women that box, the ones that I've talked to, are very strong-minded, very strong personalities, know what they want. How is it dating someone like you? Like, how is it like dating a boxer? Like, how is that on their end, and how is it on your end as well? Like, are you able to date people? Are you able to be normal like other people in that aspect of life?
No, I don't think so. I think with anyone, male or female, if you're very ambitious and you have goals that mean everything to you, your partner has to understand that. Doesn't matter if you're a female or a male, because you're going to put their shit, your shit first most of the time, you know, obviously, unless it's they need you. Yeah, that's different, you know, but a lot of the times, you know, your goals come first. Anyways, for me, I've been with my boyfriend for 9 years. And so he's accustomed to it, but he's very driven himself. He understands what it's like to have goals and what it's like to, you know, have to make sacrifices for the bigger picture. So yeah, I think like that's really important. And yeah, if you can't cop it, then, you know, move along. Like I've had plenty of boyfriends that don't last. They think that it's all good at first, being, oh, look, I mean, everyone loves you. You're like, you're so pretty. Wow. You know, like so driven. And then the next minute it's like, everyone's looking at you. Everyone wants to talk to you. Who's that person? You don't want to spend time with me. You don't do this. And it's like, well, you don't like it? Fuck off. Like, you know, you obviously don't want to date me. Like you want to date someone else that's not me. And you got to love me for who I am and see for what I do and appreciate and respect the ambition and the drive, and know that when it comes time that, you know, when you really need me, this partners work together. You know, we do equal things here. You know, I cook, you know, I clean, you know, it's everything's pretty balanced. It's just I'm not around a lot. And because I'm training all the time, or I'm working and training and whatever. But yeah, I mean, I have plenty of time when we're older, when we're not doing all this shit. You know what I mean? When we're bored as fuck to like spend time with each other. Getting old and bored, then we can tell each other stories.
then that's the fun part right there.
yeah. So you didn't know, like when I was at that time, like, you know, 20 years ago, like this is actually what happened. I was saving this story for when we we're old and bored of each other. So yeah, story time. Yeah.
Because do they ever get like intimidated by your presence or
well, obviously my boyfriend doesn't, but yeah, of course, definitely men do. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But that's the insecure men. Well, I don't want to be fucking someone that's insecure and then just be there to make someone secure. Be fucking secure in yourself. You know what I mean? You don't need a person to make you feel secure. Like I'm not that person for that. You know what I mean? You got to build on yourself. And yeah, and if they are insecure or jealous or intimidated, then that's their problem. Go work on yourself.
Yeah, that's interesting because
you know that's men and
one
women
part,
in general.
Well, one, you know, you've been in so many things that require a lot of you.
Yeah.
At 110%, where it doesn't leave a lot of time for other things. You know, no. And boxing's one too, where you got to put 120% of yourself in there, and especially if you're coming up too, you know, you got to do a lot of more sacrifices than someone who's a little bit more established.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. You know what I mean? He sees it. He sees everything that I'm doing. You know, the only thing he doesn't see is me in the gym and actually all that kind of stuff. But he's the only one that sees all the behind stuff. He's not really like into boxing and stuff like that, but he sees all what goes on, all the heartbreaks and the letdowns and all that kind of stuff, which also does make it hard for him to understand, like, why are you fucking doing it? Like, why? Like, is it worth it? And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, it is fucking worth it. Like, it will be worth it. You know, it's just, he doesn't see what I see, but he supports it.
Yeah.
And I think it would be hard as a loved one to see that heartbreak and that other side and want to support it, if that makes sense. Like, even when I was bodybuilding, my mum used to always say to me, why are you doing this if all you're doing is crying? You can't even enjoy yourself. You can't even go enjoy friends. You can't even enjoy your body because you got to be doing this and that. You look so good, but you're so, you know, you're hating life. Like, what's the point? Like, you don't get it. The point is because, there's nothing feeling like achieving a goal. Like, there's no feeling for me like that, like success. And I don't fucking quit and give up when things get hard.
Have your parents been to any of your fights?
Yeah.
How are they? What do they think about it now that you have 4 of them in?
my parents are so proud of me. Like, I mean, especially like my dad's was always really proud of my mom. They're just so proud of me because they know where I came from. They know what I've been through. They know more than anyone what I've been through. And I mean, actually, they probably don't know. They definitely don't know everything, but they've seen, you know, enough to know that where I am now is just something so amazing that I'm actually here living and breathing. Do you know what I mean? So I think they're obviously very, very proud. My mum gets, obviously, you get scared, I suppose, especially if like I get, like when I snapped my ankle in my first fight, I went down and snapped my ankle. Like my mum was like, I couldn't believe it. Like I nearly fucking had a heart attack. I thought, oh my God, like, you know, obviously because she's scared. Then she goes, then you got back up and you kept fighting. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't fucking lose. No quit. All I thought was that bitch is gonna fucking die now. You know what I mean? Like, not really, obviously. But like you know, figure of speech. I didn't actually really want to kill her. Yeah, I just wanted to bash the shit out of her for that. So yeah, and it worked. But yeah, I think they're all really good, really supportive, and they just want me to be happy. I surround myself with people who support me and just want to see me happy, and they know that doing these kind of things is what makes me happy. And in the end, I need to satisfy my goals and achieve them to be happy. I think the thing that fucking sucks is that you're never really satisfied when you're a goal setter and when you're a high achiever.
You know, speaking of goals, I'm curious, where do you want to take this boxing thing? Like, where do you see it going, and what is like the plan for you and how you see things shaking out?
Look, obviously I want to win a world title like I do. I want to be a world champion. I don't have that long, really, you know, unfortunately, because Father Time is a real thing, you know, and I obviously I do want other things like family and stuff like that. So for me, my goals really are to, you know, I've got like little goals, like I want to fight in the UK, I want to fight in front of fans over there, I want to get a world title. I'd love to fight, you know, there's a few things I want to fight. Like I would love to fight a Mexican. I'd love to fight in Mexico. I'd love to, you know, have those kind of fights. I'd love to fight around the whole world because I want to be global and I want to take my skills and who I am around to other countries. You know what I mean? And hopefully inspire, obviously, the younger generation and yeah, just reach out my positive vibes and that mindset that I have to show that you can do anything you want to do if you just put your head to it, you know? So, you know, people would have said to me when I was 29, I had my first fight 2 weeks before my 30th birthday. 2 weeks before my 30th birthday, I had my first ever fight. People would have probably said, oh, that's too late. Or, you know, like, oh, you're too old.
They would have said, are you crazy?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but look at me look where I am now 4 years later and I've got a pretty big name. Like, you know, like, I mean, obviously it's bigger, but like to where I am and how fast I've escalated and of my brand, especially overseas and like the UK and stuff, I think, you got to take your hat off and appreciate that, whatever reason, you know. You don't get there by chance and you don't get there by tits. You get there because you work fucking hard for it and you're intelligent. Yeah.
No, that just does help too. It helps to be able to market yourself. And you've done a tremendous job marketing yourself and putting yourself out there. I know you have gotten slack from people about that. Curious, when you hear that, what goes on through your mind and just your reaction towards that?
Not much. I just that they're just shallow people, they're judgmental people, and I feel sorry for them because by judging me by my appearance and what they think when they don't actually know me, they're closing their mind to the possibility of seeing who I really am and how inspiring and how hard I work and how intelligent I am. The bigger picture and the reason I'm doing it. But people are very closed-minded, unfortunately. But it's more for them. Like, it's just a sad thing for that. I hate to be walking around to be so closed-minded and unable to see beyond looks and see beyond the surface because it's a real shame, you know. I don't judge anyone. I talk to everyone, and that's why I'm popular because I'll talk to everyone. I'll reply to everyone as much as I can, and I don't give a fuck who you are. If you have 2 followers, 10,000 followers, 500, if you're, you know, Eddie Hearn or just some, you know, little boxing fan or whatever, you know what I mean? I talk to and treat everyone exactly the same. And I never judge anyone by their looks and I let everyone be them. And if that's what they want to do, then you do that, girl or guy or whatever, you know what I mean? And if it works for you, good. You know, people don't realize it's an entertainment business. It's a business that you need to put yourself out there. Otherwise, I'd still just be a 4-0 girl stuck in Australia that no one knew about. You know what I mean? Just like all the other Australian boxers. Do you know many female Australian boxers?
None.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you've probably been in boxing for a long time. I've only been a pro for 2 years and you can't even name one from the last 20 years. So, I mean, you know, like if I wanted to be like that and just be a no-name that no one's ever heard of and not have any effect on the world or have any effect people outside of Australia or outside my little fucking town, then, yeah, I wouldn't put myself out there. But I don't care, you know what I mean? People can judge me as much as they want, but I know who I am. I know my skills and how hard I work, and I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be where I am. So it's just people are jealous because not everyone's blessed with looks. Not everyone has a lot of money to spend on tits. You know what I mean? Not everyone has that. Not everyone can.
You're
go
so
and get,
open about it. It's hilarious.
Whatever. No, not everyone. Not everyone can go and get 3 degrees and a master's degree. Not
You're
everyone can do
smart
that.
cookie as well.
You know what I mean? Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can be personable and be able to speak to people and socialize and network and be intelligent enough to put themselves out there, or confident enough to put themselves out there. And it's unfortunate because it's those people that sit back and can't do it, that sit there and judge because they can't do it. And inside of them, they might not realize the reason they're judging is because they can't do it, because they wouldn't have the balls to do it, or, whatever it may be. But I just, like, my advice I give to people is, this is my way. This is how I market myself. This is how I get money now. This is who I am. I'm just being me. I don't even see, I'm transparent as fuck. You don't have to try and be me. Don't try and be me, because you're not going to be able to be me. But do you, and whatever it is that you can bring to the table, or what you can offer. Because by doing that and pushing that and finding out what it is that you're going to bring fans in, whatever it may be, then you got to do that, and find your thing. Luckily for me, I've got more than just one thing that brings fans in. I'm also very fucking funny. People love to laugh.
Yeah, they do. So you mentioned you're almost there with your shoulder. Obviously, we don't know what's going on with fights because of COVID. I know the UK is a big place for you in terms of your fan base, in terms of fights for you. I saw that they're going to open up again the fights in the coming weeks over there. When are you targeting so fans can know a fight again?
Man, I was actually aiming for a fight in February. There was some talks of me fighting over there, but unfortunately it fell through. COVID's pretty rampant over there. And there's a lot of things I was willing to go over there and stay there. But yeah, look, it didn't happen. Kind of okay, because my shoulder kind of stuffed up a little bit the other week. So everything happens for a reason, but I'm looking forward to like a tune-up fight, probably in March. I've been out for over 12 months. I'm coming back from a pretty bad injury. So I think being a smart person with my career and longevity, I think I just, should get in like a little tune-up fight first. And then I've talked to Eddie Hearn, and he, promises me that world title fight. I bring that world title fight to him. We did, our team, So I think he's a man of his word, and I think he'll get that and hopefully get a fight over there, later on in the year. Get a tune-up out, shake the rust off, make sure the shoulder's all good. It's not so I'm having to like kill myself for a world title fight in my training at the moment. It's just my body's not ready for that. The level of training you need to do for a 10-round fight at a very high level competition, it's not exactly the same. So, I've got to be smart in that sense. So yeah, hopefully soon. I'm working on it here. There's 2 promoters here that I'm working with. Hopefully can get a fight announcement and lock in a fight for March in the next couple of weeks. So yeah. Well,
I hope it goes your way and it happens soon, and more importantly, I hope the shoulder fully recovers at 110%. So you're able to go into that. I'm gonna do one last thing with you, Ebony. This is a little segment that we created here. It's called This or That. So let me know if you prefer one thing or the other. Okay. This might be interesting because this is coming from an American perspective. Some of these. Okay. So I don't know if you even have some of these things or not. Okay. But
I might know them. I've been to America quite a few times. I've been to America a lot.
Perfect. Okay, let's go. This or that with Ebanie Bridges. Ebony, favorite color?
Pink.
Favorite song?
Oh my God. I don't even have a favorite.
You gotta have a favorite song. A song that pumps you up. Your favorite go-to song.
Maybe. Akadaka, TNT.
There you go. Your favorite movie?
White Chicks.
What is it?
White Chicks.
White Cheeks. Okay.
White Chicks, not White Cheeks.
Oh,
that sounds like a porno.
You said White Chicks.
White Cheeks.
Oh, yeah. I totally thought you said White Cheeks, but I thought it was like some like Art Deco type of movie or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm
it does
glad
sound
you didn't
like
have your mind in the gutter like me. Though.
Well, no, don't get me wrong. I kind of thought of that at first, but I'm like, I don't think she's referencing that in that manner.
You don't know me well enough, then.
White chicks.
Yeah.
What's the last time you cried from watching a movie?
I never cried watching a movie. I don't get emotional in movies at all.
You've never cried during a movie, really?
No, I don't get scared in movies. I don't really even laugh out loud in movies. Even if they're really funny, I don't generally laugh out loud, and I definitely don't cry. Yeah, no.
Your stone face.
Yeah, I'm ice fucking cold.
Cold as ice. What's your favorite topping on a pizza?
Pepperoni.
Now, are you pepperoni or are you pineapple?
Pineapple.
Pineapple
And
for
pepperoni.
sure, right?
I don't know. I do both of them, but
Yeah. People flip out over this. This is a very contentious subject worldwide.
I know.
Yeah. And I don't
People
understand.
need to calm the fuck down.
You can enjoy both.
All right,
Pineapple
put
and
them
ham.
together. Yeah.
What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Mint and cookies and cream.
Mint and chip, right? Mint.
Yeah, mint. Yeah, we got like
We call that here.
It's like we got like mint and cookies, which is like cookies and cream but mint flavor.
Oh, that's bomb. It's very good. Favorite
amazing.
cartoon growing up?
I think Captain Planet.
Captain Planet?
Yeah,
Really?
did you just have
like
that?
Captain Planet? Yes,
I did like.
Captain
That's the first thing
Planet.
that comes to me. I mean, otherwise Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
I just
good,
remember Captain
good
Planet.
choices. Do you remember the Captain Planet song?
Yeah. Earth, fire, wind, water, go planet. Captain Planet, he's a hero, fighting pollution down to zero. Something like that.
You were a planet? You're definitely a planeteer growing up. Who was your? Are you gonna say Captain Planet? Who was your favorite superhero growing up?
Nah, Spider-Man was my superhero.
For sure, Spider-Man. Love Spider-Man. Favorite type of pet?
Cat.
You're a cat person?
Yeah.
Do you have a cat?
Yeah, Bruce. His name's Bruce Wayne. I'm gonna show
Bruce
you.
Gonna make a cameo right now?
Yeah, he is. Wait.
Bruce. There's Bruce. Bruce the cat.
Yeah. Oh, I've just done something now. Okay. Anyways.
What's your favorite animal?
Cat. Yeah, cats, I suppose, or like any animal.
Any animal.
It'd probably still be some kind of cat, like a lion or a tiger or something.
There you go. Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi Max.
Pepsi?
You don't have Pepsi Max over there, though. You have like Pepsi
No, I think
Light,
we
which
do
is
have
gross.
Pepsi Max.
Pepsi Max,
Pepsi Max is like Coke Zero, I think, right?
Kind of, but yeah.
You like Pepsi?
No, Pepsi. I love Pepsi.
Pepsi tastes weird compared to Coke.
Yeah, but maybe I like it better than Coke. I like Coke, but I'd pick Pepsi every day.
Okay. Interesting. Not a lot of people will pick Pepsi.
Yeah. Well, I'm not everyone.
True. This is true. All right. Bud Light or Coors Light?
Bud Light.
Bud
Never
Light.
heard of the other one.
You never heard of Coors?
No.
It's like, Coors Light's like water, but you know, it's a college favorite. That's for sure.
Oh.
White Claw or Truly?
No, don't know them.
You don't know any of them?
What is it?
Okay. We got our first one. Our first difference here.
I don't know.
They're hard seltzers.
Oh, seltzers.
Yeah, hard seltzers though. They're like alcoholic seltzers.
What's that mean? Oh, okay. Oh, I've never heard of them. Yeah, I remember like because I like soda water, and when I was in America, I'm like, I just want some soda water, and they're like soda water. I'm like, yeah, like the sparkly water. Oh, seltzer. I'm like, yeah.
Salsa. Cookie or brownie?
Brownie,
for sure, brownie. And finally, Jack Daniels or vodka? Whiskey.
I don't like alcohol. Yeah, I don't like alcohol, but if it was anything, it would be vodka. Because brown spirits, didn't have a good experience with that when I was growing up at all. So would never touch it.
Tequila or tequila?
No tequila.
It's always tequila. Always.
It's always tequila.
All right. This was This or That with Ebanie Bridges. Ebanie,
Thank you.
It was good catching up with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome.
Really appreciate it. Tell Bruce and send Bruce
fun.
my regards as well. Ebanie Bridges, 4-0. a rising prospect in the world of boxing. Hopefully making a return to the ring sometime coming up this year. Ebanie, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And
You
I hope you
too.
recover well from the shoulder. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the fun.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.